Hi guys, it's Naya. The sun is shining, the tank is clean, and I'm the hell out of my house. Which is okay because no one in my community is outside of there, so besides my sister. But anyways, so I'm gonna enjoy this nice weather. Like it was raining for like the last 3 to 4 weeks in Atlanta, like almost nonstop. So I am out, I'm getting some rays, and we're shooting this video outside. It's a little hot though, like whew, starting to roast. So anyways, as per the video title, I am going to be talking about my experience. Let me preface this already. My experience with university in the U.S. versus university abroad. So my undergrad studies were conducted at Loyola University, New Orleans, and my abroad studies were conducted at ISADE University in Barcelona and at the University of Sheffield in England. Okay, so there are probably 4 major differences that I noticed. The major one being the work. In the U.S., much like in high school, in college, the recipe is the same. You've got your homework grades, you've got your classwork grades, you've got your project grades. You may have extra credit, who knows, depending on your professor. And then you've got your exam grades. Like, the recipe is very much the same. So those of you who lack in one capacity, like for me personally, scratch that for me personally. Personally, I do better with the homework and classwork and project grades as opposed to testing. That's not the case for everybody. So in college, you know, if you aren't a great tester, then you've got these other things to help alleviate the grades. That is not the case in universities abroad, at least the universities that I attended abroad. We had homework, but it wasn't graded. We had classwork, but it wasn't graded. It was just for the educational experience. And so that absolutely hindered me when it came to going to school abroad, because I was used to having those other things to kind of help cushion the blow if you didn't do well on exams, and I didn't have those things abroad. So sucks to suck for me, but I made it. We passed. Haha. So, okay. Another thing is the difficulty in assignments. Like in the US, I found that my grades and my classes were a lot easier. Not to say it was like, oh, stupid easy, you know, we just chilling, but it was doable. Abroad, I was on the struggle bus. And another thing to note is that how you're brought up, like, you know, maybe in high school, like you're taught to do your paragraphs, you know, the intro, the 3 main paragraphs, well, the 3 body paragraphs, and then the conclusion or whatever. And it's that same formula, the same recipe. Abroad, you have to figure out what your teachers like what the Spanish students like, the method that they've been taught in order to be successful in their exams or essays, and the way the British are taught. Like, because I went in, you know, with my basic formula, I was like bam 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 bam, knocked out my intro, it was good, and it would have been good for an American school. But abroad, their standards are different, and it was a lot more difficult for me to do well and to score higher abroad than it was for me in the US. So that was another main difficulty. Another thing is, in the US, universities, or my university, I think focuses more on individualism. So your homework grades are up to you, your classwork grades are up to you, your extra credit, it's up to you. And then you've got like the occasional throw in of a group project or whatever, and your exam grade is up to you primarily. Abroad, at ISADE and both at the University of Sheffield, a lot more focus was placed on group work. Like, there was hardly any individual work because there was group work. At ISADE, all of the classwork assignments were group. All of the homework assignments, for the most part, were group. And then the essay at the end of the course or the class or whatever, that was for you alone. Like, that was the part that you were responsible for. That wasn't like a group project. Same way in England, we had two grades per class, and that was an individual essay and a group essay. So half of that is up to you alone, and the other half is up to the competence of your group, which that was not stellar depending on your group. And you didn't get to choose the group oftentimes in these courses. You didn't. It just didn't happen. And so you were kind of just left to see how it went. So that was another thing. Is in the U.S. I found it easier to like have relationships with my professors. Like, I'm still, well, now friends, because I've graduated, friends with a lot of my professors from undergrad, whereas in England, like, it was a bit more difficult to connect with the professors. And it just seemed, and in the same way in Spain, like, one, she was particularly helpful when I needed her, but it's a lot more of like you're left to fend for yourself, you know, like they weren't as engaging and as on board if you needed help. Whereas my professors in the US were like, what do you need? Like, how can I help you out? They offered a lot more support and help. So those were the primary differences in as far as my experience at the universities, both in America and here. Like, both had lots of sports and that kind of thing, but the main difference that I noticed was when it came to work and group work, like I mentioned before, and like relationships with my professors and whatnot. Is there anything else? I don't know. Anyways, so I'll do another video in which I talk about my experience studying abroad versus my experience getting my master's abroad. And I'll shoot that one soon. But anyways, guys, enjoy the summer day. It's not even summer yet. It's not even spring yet. Enjoy the sunny day, and I will see you guys later. Stay safe.